In the previous tour of Plants of the Southwest, we saw how Gene was rock mounting his Ficus palmeri, and in this episode, we'll see more of those displays here with Ficus Petiolaris at the Arizona-Sonora Desert Museum.
My name is Alex Arnold. I'm a horticulturist and records keeper here at the garden, so I mostly work down here in the greenhouse, growing plants out for grounds and for other things like fundraisers and any other situations that might require plants to be present.
And what are you going to show us today?
I was going to show you an example of something that we do in terms of a plant that really lends itself to being potted as a house plant, as kind of a specimen plant, kind of a pet plant. And that's Ficus Petiolaris, or a rock strangler fig, or a tescalama in Sonora. So this is an example of one we've mounted on a volcanic rock. A lot of people really like to use these as kind of a bonsai type plant. They tend to only fill out a container to the maximum and then sort of don't continue to grow. So for that reason, they really lend themselves to being a potted specimen like this and for being bonsai'd. Over here, I have another example of one where I kind of built almost a rock terrace around it, and both are supposed to represent more or less the kind of context you might find them in the wild. This species starts to appear only a few hours south of here, making it the northernmost example of the genus, just about 200 or so miles south of us. In some of the wetter canyons is when it first starts to appear. So you'll be in a desert kind of environment, much like what you see here, but with much more of that obvious tropical influence. It's deciduous in the sense that the leaves are pretty sensitive to changes in temperature and humidity. So they'll often drop their leaves and then very quickly push out new leaves that are better suited to the kind of new conditions that it finds itself in. So if I were to bring this out of this greenhouse right now, it might drop its leaves, but then a week or so later put on new leaves. Pretty much in the case of this one, this was one of these ones here. So these were all grown from seed collected down near Nacapule Canyon in San Carlos, Sonora, and then germinated. Yeah, and you know, they really do lend themselves to being taken out, to being handled in that way. You can basically bare root them, which is what I did in this case, removed all of the soil, and then you can almost braid the roots the way that you want them to be, and they will take that form.
And are these normally found on like rocky cliffs, or how would you typically find them? On riparian areas where there's stone?
Exactly, yeah, riparian areas. You'll even see them way, way up in cliffs, 50 feet up. Much higher than you'd expect something to be that requires so much water. But their roots, as you can see, will travel pretty far to find water and tap into moist soil. But yeah, in habitat just south of here, you start first seeing them up in steep, narrow canyons that usually have some kind of water source, like a spring.
It's so architectural, isn't it?
Yes, that's one of the reasons we love them.
And do you have this kind of in the landscape here, or is it, like you said, this is like the northernmost part that you would find them?
Yeah, we have one very large one on grounds, and even that one we have to keep pretty protected. So at this latitude, they tend to be susceptible to the freezes we get. Below 25 degrees, they start getting significant damage and have to be either protected, brought indoors, or if that happens, oftentimes cut back and allowed to regrow from their caudex. So yeah, they are truly a tropical species in that sense. But since they will sort of keep themselves confined to a container, they're great for, a porch type of setting or an indoor setting.
Beautiful. And I have seen these on the houseplant market, but I've never seen them kind of displayed in that kind of capacity. So thank you for sharing that with us, and a new way of kind of displaying a relatively pedestrian plant, even though it's not the most common ficus that you would see in the indoor houseplant environment. It's such a cool way and a nice introduction to like bonsai as well.
Yeah, I think anybody who's interested in it would be behoove themselves to start with something like this because, like I said, it sort of almost does it itself in a certain way. You know, it doesn't want to burst out of the pot, and it kind of will stay proportional to the container in which it finds itself. And it's very forgiving to a certain amount of manhandling.
Amazing. Thank you, Alex.
Sure, my pleasure.
We'll be continuing on our tour checking out the plant scene in Tucson, Arizona in some more upcoming episodes. Now, if you dig these videos, consider supporting the channel through liking, subscribing, tipping, hitting that notifications button, or even becoming a sustaining member. We donate 1% of our Google AdSense proceeds back to plant conservation, so your viewership and support really matters. We also have a suite of online houseplant courses and plant care sheets, which you could check out at homesteadbrooklyn.com and houseplantmasterclass.com. And if you find that you have binge-watched all of our videos here, then you could head over to our sister channel called Flock Finger Lakes, where we highlight more outdoor plants, community-based living, and other fine topics. We'll see you here or on that channel in the next videos.